Aloha, beautiful souls, and welcome back to another episode of The Happiness Hub. I am your host, Rouse, your gratitude consultant and guide for entrepreneurs and solopreneurs who are on the journey to financial independence and time freedom. Today is one that speaks to both parents and anyone who has a young person in their life. It is episode 83, and we are calling it Back to School, Back to Gratitude, teaching kids to appreciate more. We're in that time of year where backpacks are filled, schedules get busy, and new classrooms become fresh territory for growth. But with all the focus on academics, sports, and activities, one thing often gets left behind: teaching our children how to notice, appreciate, and live in gratitude. And let's be real, gratitude is not just a nice personality trait, right? It is a skill. It is a muscle. And the earlier we help kids strengthen it, the more abundance they can attract into their lives. Now, most of us as adults, we already know that gratitude can shift our mindset. But when we teach it to kids, the benefits multiply. Research shows children who practice gratitude regularly report higher levels of satisfaction, stronger friendships, and even better grades. In fact, a study conducted by Jeffrey Froth and colleagues at Hofstra University followed middle school students who were encouraged to keep gratitude journals. The kids who wrote about things they were thankful for reported greater optimism about school and higher satisfaction with their lives. Even months later, these positive effects were still present. Imagine what would happen if gratitude was a part of every classroom routine. Dang. Now let's take a look at someone that most people know, and that would be gymnast Simone Biles. So when Simone talks about her career, she doesn't just highlight her medals and her achievements, right? She often highlights the gratitude she feels for her family, especially her grandparents who adopted her and provided stability when she was young. In interviews, she has shared that focusing on what she has rather than what she doesn't has helped her maintain balance in such high pressure sport. Think about that. A young girl who could have easily focused on hardships instead leaned into gratitude for love, support, and opportunity. That gratitude became a grounding force for her, even as she faced intense competition, criticism, and the pressure of global fame. That, folks, is the power of gratitude in action. Now, I've got another example for you, and we're going to be talking about Lin-Manuel Miranda, the creator of Hamilton, Alexander Hamilton. Yeah, and in The Heights, he has often spoken about how his parents instilled gratitude in him early. They emphasized being thankful not just for material things, but for community, for heritage, and creativity. He carried that lesson into his career, and you can see it reflected in how he constantly thanks teachers, mentors, and even audiences for their part in his journey. When Hamilton became a worldwide phenomenon, Lin didn't simply celebrate his own brilliance. He continually expressed appreciation for the cast, for the crew, and even the educators who would later bring the musical into their classrooms. That mindset of gratitude helped him create not just success, but an entire movement that connected millions of people to history in a new way. Whew. Okay, well, let's get nerdy here for a minute because the science here is fascinating. So a study from Giacomo Bono and Jeffrey Froth published in the Journal of Happiness Studies back in 2011, specifically looked at gratitude in adolescents. They surveyed nearly 700 students over 4 years, tracking their gratitude levels and overall well-beings. What they found was striking. Teens who reported higher gratitude were less likely to experience depression and delinquency. They're, less of them were delinquents. They also showed greater academic interest and higher grades. Gratitude literally created a buffer against the pressures and stress of adolescence. The researchers conducted that gratitude survey, that study. They conducted that survey, and 4 years. And what they concluded from that is something that we already know, that gratitude is not just a feel-good practice. It is a developmental asset. And that, my friend, that is huge, especially when you think about how many kids today are dealing with stress, anxiety, and social pressure. Gratitude becomes protective factor that sets them up for healthier emotional and academic lives. So how do we put this into action with the kids in our lives, right? Because that's the big question. Here are some simple and practical ideas that you can apply today. I'm going to give you 4 examples. Start a family gratitude jar. Keep a jar in the kitchen. And every evening, ask your kids to write down one thing that they're grateful for and just pop it inside. At the end of the month, read them together as a family. The second suggestion that I have for you is gratitude in the classroom. Teachers can invite students to begin the day by sharing one thing that they are thankful for, even if it's something small like my sandwich or my sneakers. It builds a habit of noticing. So if you are a teacher, I'm going to encourage you to incorporate gratitude every day as you start the day with your students. And if you have school-age kids, talk to the teachers about incorporating it. But then you can also do it yourself at home, right? And then number 3, bedtime reflections. Parents can make it a routine to ask, what was one good thing that happened today? And this helps to shift the focus from worries to wins before kids fall asleep. And then lastly, I want to encourage you to talk to your kids about doing thank you notes. Encourage them to send real cards or notes to teachers and coaches and even their friends. This not only expresses gratitude, but also helps to build deeper relationship. If there's one thing that I want you to take away from today's episode, it's this. Gratitude is not just something kids should eventually learn. It is something they can start practicing right now. And the earlier we teach them, the stronger that gratitude muscle grows. Gratitude is a tool that attracts abundance. It builds resilience, and it sets the foundation for happier, healthier lives. So beautiful souls, as the back to school season begins, let's remember that while pencils and laptops and backpacks do matter, the greatest supply we can give our kids is the mindset of gratitude. And if you found today's episode helpful, I am inviting you to subscribe to the Happiness Hub and to also share it with a friend. You never know who might need this message today. So until next time, a hui ho, toodle pip, and aloha.